having me. I spoke here, I think, a few years ago and gave some information on our program, so I'll just give you an update. I always like to start with some statistics that we have here in our county, because I believe that the more awareness that we have on this issue that I'm going to talk about, the better we can help support our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, and our families. So Refuge is a program that serves children and families in Madison County, and the children that we're focusing on are ages birth to 11, who have been exposed, are living in, or have been removed from situations of trauma. So we serve children who are living in domestic violence, who have substance addicted parents, who have been physically abused, possibly sexually abused. There's a myriad of things, but you understand what I'm saying. All of our services at Refuge are completely free, and they're offered to our community at whole, Madison County. And just to give you a few statistics, Madison County currently is #1 in our entire state for the most kids in foster care per population.
Wow.
We have a serious drug epidemic happening. We know that. The opiate crisis is nationwide, but it's hitting us hard here in Madison County. And the docket at Madison County has never seen this many children coming through in the history of what we're doing. So we have a huge number of children that are living in trauma. We have a huge number of grandparents who are now raising grandchildren, aunts, uncles, even siblings who are older that are taking in younger siblings. So that is not the only population that we serve. We do serve a high number of foster children, but we serve children who are not in foster care as well. But the other thing that we do for these families that I believe sets us apart from some other services that our county has, because we are a blessed community. There are many resources in our community that are reaching out and helping people. We can always use more, but Refuge is set apart because we do provide free counseling, but at the same time, we have 2 people on every case. So we have someone working with the child, but we also have caregiver support. So we have someone who meets with the parent or grandparent, aunt, uncle, foster parent, sibling, and really wraps around them. Because what do we know about children? They're not their own captain of the ship, right? We see kids every week who come into our office, many of them still living in hard situations. So if we can reach these parents and help equip and strengthen them, then we believe that that is going to have more of an impact in the long term on these children than even 1 hour a week of counseling. Listen, I am a counselor. I believe in it. I wholeheartedly support it. I believe that it does bring strength and resiliency and hope to hurting people, but I'm also realistic and know that these situations are complex, and we have to reach these caregivers as well and support them. 80% of all Illinois children living with child maltreatment who have had trauma were between the ages of birth to 11 in 2013. So we know that that age group, they are truly at most risk for having long-term impact of their trauma exposure. Science tells us that their brains are impacted in utero. Even the development of their brains from 0 to 3 is the most critical window of time. So if we can intervene and help these families early, that's what we want to do. The thing you may not know about Refuge that if you've ever heard me speak, you've probably heard me say this. I've been a resident of Madison County my entire life, and over the last 4 years that we have launched this program, I have never been prouder to live here because we are 100% underwritten by this community. We do not get federal funding. We have yet to get any state funding. We are supported by individuals, businesses, and we just recently, starting in June through November, got funding from our Madison County Mental Health Board to begin offering services in the schools and homes. There is a population of children that will never make it into our office setting because transportation, parents' lives are too chaotic, it's not a priority, but the schools can identify for us and community members can identify for us children who are at risk and living in really difficult situations. And so our County Mental Health Board has made it possible for us to begin doing that work. So if you pray that we'll get refunded for the next year so that we can continue this great work. I like to bring awareness to our community members because you all are what's making this happen. Trauma is so prevalent. It is not just children in Alton living in the housing projects or East St. Louis or on the other side of the railroad tracks. Trauma is pervasive. We know, every single person in here knows somebody who is experiencing a very difficult situation. Trauma is universal. It does not discriminate. It happens in our own families. It happens with our own children. It happens with our neighbors. And Madison County, we have a problem. There's a child in every single classroom in our county living with trauma, per our numbers. And that's, we can wrap around these kids. We want to wrap around our educators, our faith-based community. So we're doing a lot of community outreach. So the other thing I want to make you all aware of, if you're from the faith community, in September, we are doing a training with Abundant Life Church in Alton, who is opening it up to the whole community of faith on a Saturday, and it's called, they've named it, but Calming the Chaos in Children and Youth Ministries. And we will do a half-day training with all church volunteers who work in a capacity with children that Abundant Life is providing the platform for. I believe they're charging $25 per church to bring their team of volunteers. And we're going to do education on how trauma impacts these kids and what we can do as community members working with them in the church setting or even in the school setting, how we can help manage the behaviors that come, how we can help bring healing and hope to these kids in a real practical way. So for the faith community, that is a resource that is coming up. For educators, we are partnering with our schools in Madison County. We did an in-service for Roxana School District with all of their teachers in January with the same type of information and education. So please be aware of us, know about us. If you have family, friends, neighbors, co-workers who have children that are coming out of really difficult situations or they're in really difficult situations, just know that you don't have to walk that journey alone because we're here. We're housed at Riverbend Family Ministries in Wood River. Many of you have probably heard of them. I will give them a plug. If it was not for that organization, we would not be here. They provide 100% of our overhead. We do not have to pay them rent, power, water, computers, phones. They provide that for us and many other small organizations so that the dollars that we raise can go directly to serving these children. We have a golf scramble coming up in September. If you are a golfer, or even if you're not, but you want to support a good cause, I have some flyers. I believe we'll sell this event out this year. There's only 36 teams that can sign up. It's our third annual event. It's a lot of fun, supports a great cause. And so if you want information on that, I have that flyer. And also, I just want to close with telling you that just this year, since January, through the end of May, Refuge has served over 80 individual children in our counseling program, and we have 4 full-time staff. So there is a need. We are busy, but services are being provided because of people like you. Many of you in this room help support us. And so thank you for that, because it truly takes a community to raise happy, healthy children. And if children deserve anything, they deserve to have happy childhoods. And if we have children who have happy childhoods, then we have children who grow up to be adults that can give back to the community in a wonderful way, become Rotary members, and do all of the wonderful things that we want them to do as they become adults. And so you all help us just play a small part in that to make it possible. And we do all of this at the cost of $672 per child. So again, we have Riverbend Family Ministries to thank for making that our budget possible. And then we have our community at large to thank for making it possible.